Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Sarita. If you joined me for July empties yesterday, then you know that I was so embarrassed, frankly, by how few candles I had for July that I promised you another very quick video. And this one is going to be an unboxing of a little mini haul from Bath and Body Works. And I promised to upload it the same day or the day after. And so now you are seeing this on a Saturday. Happy Saturday. So, Bath and Body Works has released actually several pretty involved online mini collections for the fall. Often Bath and Body Works will do some online exclusives, but it seems like they've done a lot of online exclusives, more than they usually do for this fall season. And a few of the candles they're offering online are like really, really good. So, and I don't know what their strategy is on that. I wouldn't say that they've been very strong this year in store. So maybe they should be releasing those in store. I don't know why they're doing this. I just really don't. Obviously to a certain degree, they want to keep up their online, retail experience going, but it does seem to me like many of these candles should have dropped in the store, and perhaps they will later. Like maybe this is just like an earlier iteration, and then in October they're going to see them again. Anyway, there are a few candles in those online collections that I've never experienced before, and one in particular that I've heard many candle reviewers talk about, kind of a one-hit wonder, which is Porchside Pumpkin. And I've heard about it from Sean from Hearthside. I've heard about it from Kent, Candle Channel, maybe even Kevin In-N-L, I'm not sure. But they've been talking about this for years, this Porchside Pumpkin candle. So everybody was surprised when this made an appearance this year for Bath and Body Works and as an online exclusive. So when they were having a candle sale last weekend, I waited until Sunday because they've stopped giving candle coupons to me. So I have no coupons, but everybody thought they might drop a flash 20% off on the last day of the candle sale, which was Sunday. And sure enough, they did. Thank God. So I went ahead and purchased. Really, there wasn't a whole lot that I wanted to purchase that was just an online situation that I couldn't get in store. And so I ended up, unfortunately, having to pay shipping as well. I only ended up buying 3 candles, and they were from this online exclusive collection. One of them is Porchside Pumpkin. The other one is one I've not experienced, which was called Harvest Linen. And I suspect, and now I know for sure because the reviews have started coming in, that it's really just a laundry day scent, which makes me upset because, I knew that was probably a possibility. I'm not really a laundry detergent kind of candle girl, but I was hoping with the Harvest Linen that it would be a little bit more earthy or seasonal. I don't know what else. So I got the Harvest Linen, and then weirdly I got Cider Lane as well. And it's not that I haven't smelled Cider Lane before, but I don't know, in the moment I was like, I feel like I haven't smelled that in a while. And I've definitely never brought it home. And I think the reason that I've never brought it home is because I don't like it. I know, I'm the only one in the world who doesn't like Cider Lane. Please don't come at me. If I remember correctly, it's a lot of caramel. It's super sweet, isn't it? I think that's why. And I'm not a huge apple candle kind of girl anyway, but I think it's got too much sweetness in it, if I recall correctly. However, I did get it just to remind myself, and I can always return it later. So I actually have not even opened this box, and I thought it might be kind of fun. I almost never do candid videos, but I thought that it might be nice for me to open it on camera and give my first impressions, mainly of Porchside Pumpkin, but of the others as well. All right, so this is kind of cool, this tear off box here. They've gotten very savvy with their minimal packaging, which is also really smart. And as you know, Bath and Body Works packages, they don't like spend a lot of effort on bubble wrapping. They've got kind of a sheet of it down below here, but then they basically just ship the candles individually in these like little boxes, and it seems to work pretty well. It's been a while since I've gotten like a really shattered candle. So there you go. All right, so this one is Porchside Pumpkin. I will let that be the very last one that I open up. I will do them in order of liking them maybe. Here is Cider Lane, and then here is Harvest Linen. Okay, which is supposed to have linen, pine, and musk. So I was really hoping it would just have a lot of pine, you know, and a lot of musk. Okay. All right, let's start out with Cider Lane. So here's Cider Lane. It's not like amazing packaging, but it's okay. These are still, oh, they're $24.95. So they're the cheap ones. And obviously like just kind of a rough and ready, you know, clear label there. There is Cider Lane. Look how gorgeous though that wax looks. Oh, I am a colored wax kind of girl. Just give me a colored wax. I don't even need a fancy label, just the wax. And the lid is, you know, not just regular. So there you go. Cider Lane. Yeah, the first note is warm caramel. Yeah, this is why I don't like it. Warm caramel. Granny Smith apple, dark brown sugar, as if you needed more sugar when you have the caramel already, and ground clove. Oh, it's not that bad. You know, for all of that sugar listed, it's not like super uber. It's not like a candle where you need like your insulin or something. It's just a very traditional like apple spice kind of candle. And yes, the clove is there and it's very nice. It kind of cuts some of the sweetness. But again, just very, very traditional, very standard. Yeah, and it does have the back note of caramel to it as well. Again, not bad. I'll probably burn it this year because, you know, it's just a standard apple spice. I think it's just been around for so long and it's just so standard that Cider Lane is kind of like the benchmark by which all other apple candles are compared maybe at Bath & Body Works. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's just not like blowing my mind or changing my life. There you go. All right, let's move on to Harvest Linen. Okay, it's a blue candle, which is kind of weird, but blue does go with most laundry candles. At least it's a dark blue. All right, so there you go. But then it's got this like weird postage stamp. Oh, actually, Cider Lane was in a different online collection. That's why the label is different. I'm not sure that I like these like postage stamps. Why postage stamps? At any rate, it's got a rocking chair and etc. It's fine. It's fine. I actually, when you're gonna do a $24.95 like phoned in kind of label, I actually do kind of prefer the clear one because once again, I just really like that wax coming through as much as possible. Has the same lid as well. All right, so the notes on Harvest Linen, again, are lime-dried linen, fresh pine, and rich musk. Yeah, it's laundry detergent. Or dryer sheet. Ooh, it's got a real back note. And by back, I mean back note of pine. Not enough of one for it to really just not be a laundry day fragrance. It's not quite as aggressive as like Laundry Day or something like that, which is, so it's just a little bit more of a muted Laundry Day, if that makes sense. And yeah, it does have that back note that's just a little bit on the more masculine kind of herbal direction, and it's that pine note. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know if I'll keep it. We'll see. We'll see. But there you go. There's Harvest Linen right there. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to make an online order for. But, you know, I think that should be in the store. I really do. Because, I mean, given the seasonality, there isn't very much on the floor right now like this. And so it just would add a little bit diversity, you know, in your store. I think that should be in the store. All right. Porchside, and I probably Cider Lane will be in the store at some point later in the fall. But this is the pièce de résistance. This is the moment. Porchside Pumpkin. Okay. Which is really the only reason that I made this order. Weirdly has a phoned in lid. I don't know why, since it's the same postage stamp collection, but you know, I guess it just, there was so much effort getting this fragrance out that they just needed to cut corners somewhere, okay? To keep it $24.95. Really nice, you know, obviously pumpkin orange there. But again, not my favorite label. Not exactly evocative, we'll put it that way. So the notes on Porchside Pumpkin, which is apparently just a very nice like fall conceptual candle, is Porchside Pumpkin, cardamom spice, and aromatic wood. So it's really just a pumpkin spice with some wood overtones, but everything that has been said from other people is that there's a good amount of floral in this, possibly a chrysanthemum. Okay. I don't know. It's a little underwhelming. Don't get me wrong. I like it a lot. It is a fantastic pumpkin candle. And I actually think that Bath & Body Works does pumpkin really, really well. Obviously, they have their like iconic pumpkin carving, right? And this one actually has some, it has some resemblance to pumpkin carving. And I think you are really getting a true pumpkin note here. Often candles that say they have pumpkin in them really just have pumpkin spice, i.e. cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, ginger. And in our mind, psychologically, we just go to pumpkin because it's like a pumpkin spice note, you know? Very few pumpkin fragrances actually have a good amount of pumpkin in them. And partly that's because the pumpkin fragrance note is actually really difficult to capture, and it's a squash. So it's a very mild kind of smell. And then if you add all of the spices to it, it's actually kind of hard to taste the pumpkin or smell the pumpkin underneath all of the spices. When you have pumpkin pie, basically it's a custard pie. That's basically what it is, because you can hardly taste the pumpkin like over all of the spices. It becomes like a vehicle. The pumpkin becomes a vehicle for all of those other things, like a beautiful canvas for it. This candle actually does have a good amount of pumpkin in it, which I really appreciate. Kind of similar to pumpkin carving. And then it has amazing spices in it. I don't know if it's cardamom per se. Cardamom is a very strange note. So cardamom is actually a chai spice note. And it can sometimes go a little bit soapy, and it's very pronounced, very sharp, very aggressive, and just very unique. If there's cardamom here, it's a very whisper amount of it. Otherwise, I do think it's probably clove, maybe a touch of cinnamon. I don't know if there's ginger in here. And then the rest of the candle is kind of a floral note, but it's so if you're familiar with geranium, for instance, it's very similar to a geranium, and it could be chrysanthemum. It's kind of that like sour, it's got this sour note to it, like a sour metallic note, which makes geranium not one of my favorite fragrance notes. It's in very, very small measure here, and you really have to smell for it, but it is like just filling the fragrance out and making it not a true straight up gourmand pumpkin spice. I think there's vanilla in here as well. Yeah, I like it. It really just makes it, to be perfectly honest, it just makes it a little bit of a deeper and richer pumpkin spice than the usual. And I really love that. The floral makes it just a tiny bit perfumey, but like tiny, right? And again, that perfuminess is just coming around the edges and warming and filling it out and making it something a little bit less cliched than the usual, you know? Rather than it being like a perfume conceptual that has pumpkin overtones. You know what I mean? It's a pumpkin candle with some subtle perfume elements. Oh, I love it. I do. I am a little concerned about strength and throw on this. You saw me kind of like rubbing it to try to get some of the scent oils. To me, this seems like a candle that is going to struggle to fill my back bedroom. But given those little non-gourmand elements, I'm okay burning it in the back bedroom. You know, I mean, it's not just like a straight up like pecan pie or something like that in my back bedroom, which is just not the vibe that I want for my back bedroom. This one has a few other elements that makes it totally fine for that. To be honest, I think I'm probably gonna try to burn this up sooner rather than later, which I'm a very seasonal girl. Usually I would not burn this candle until, gosh, at least October, probably early October. I would burn this one since it has a few other little elements and that nice little floral element, which is kind of very September. But for me, pumpkin, especially the way that September is really, really hot now, you know, I do apples and honey in September, and then I usually don't transition to pumpkin until October, but I would say this is an early October candle. That said, I think I'm probably gonna burn it sooner because I just wanna see if I want another one and I wanna get it before it's gone. You know what I mean? I like it, I like it. It is not quite as earth-shattering as maybe some of the reviews led me to believe. Maybe it is cardamom. Because it is a very bitey clove. I think it's a clove cardamom in there, which is, again, nice and interesting. It's not just like a ton of red hot cinnamon, you know, the usual suspects. I think that's really nice too. It's just a pumpkin spice that has a few unexpected elements to it. And I'm here for it because it's got that traditional, comforting, nostalgic pumpkin spice kind of feel to it. But at the same time, it's just more interesting than like all the other pumpkin spice candles. And I think that that's fantastic and immediately very satisfying and successful. So yes, I don't know why this isn't in the store. It probably should be. For whatever reasons, they're really wanting to point us to their online business. So there you go. If you want it, unfortunately, you're gonna have to get it online. So just wait for a candle sale. And then if you've got like, you know, a coupon or something, it's quite reasonable. And if you buy candles that you don't like, you can always just return them to the store and probably you have a store close to you. So there you go. There's Porchside Pumpkin. If it was in the store, I would absolutely purchase it. So I'm very happy with it and we'll have to see what it does. I was kind of underwhelmed. Sometimes you like remember a fragrance back in the day and then nostalgia and everything else starts to kind of cloud your memory a little bit. And then you smell it again and you're like, oh, I don't know if this is like exactly what I had built it up to be the last 5 years. So for instance, when like Blueberry Pumpkin Patch came back last year and I smelled it, I had never really smelled it before, but like everybody raved about it. And then I smelled it and I was like, oh, this is not that great of a candle. You know what I mean? So when everybody was raving, all these reviewers that I love about this candle, Porchside Pumpkin, I was like partly like, is it gonna be good, or are they gonna like have misremembered it a little bit? But this is good. This is good. And like I said, I would totally buy it in store. So there you go. Porchside Pumpkin. I'm gonna link all 3 of them down below, but really just, you know, mainly for Porchside Pumpkin. The other 2 you could do without. Harvest Linen should probably be on the floor, given how it's got the marketing for the season, but in fact is like in a genre that is definitely not represented on the floor right now. That should be in the store. Cider Lane should be in the store too, but it's a very like mainstay, you know, standby kind of candle. And I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see it later in the summer, or later in the season, later in the fall. So yeah, but Porchside Pumpkin, you are gonna have to get online. There you go, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me. If you're new to my channel, definitely think about subscribing. My name is Sarita. I do a lot of candles from a lot of companies. So Bath & Body Works is definitely a big part of it because they are so available, great price point, and actually fairly decent candles. So yeah, thanks for joining me, my friends. I'll catch you in the next one.